The subcommittee will come to order. I ask unanimous consent that the chair be authorized to declare a recess at any time. Without objection, it is so ordered. Without objection, the first reading of the bill is dispensed with, and the mark is open to amendment at any point. Without objection, members have 5 legislative days within which to submit written statements to be made part of the record. So ordered. Good morning. Welcome to the Intelligence Special Operations Subcommittee mark for the fiscal year 2023 Defense Authorization Act. Before we begin, I'd like to thank Ranking Member Kelly for his strong partnership and contribution to the mark. I also extend my appreciation to all subcommittee members on both sides of the aisle for the commitment to the especially sensitive issues we cover on this subcommittee, and thank you for your contributions to the mark. I also want to take this opportunity to thank our tremendous professional staff led by Shannon Green and includes Craig Green, Patrick Nevins, and Will Braden. Without this team, the mark would not be possible. I would also like to thank my military legislative assistant, Michelle Chevin-Cortez, for her excellent support. Our mark was developed in a bipartisan manner and includes priorities submitted by all of our subcommittee members. The mark builds on the priorities we started last year to create more agility across the defense intelligence enterprise to counter Russia and China in the information environment and rebalance activities and capabilities of U.S. Special Operations Command to support the Department in strategic competition. The Department has implemented many of these intelligence reforms and has played an important role in supporting Ukraine amidst Russia's unprovoked invasion on February 24th. As General Nakasone testified in this year's posture hearing, the defense intelligence community has made and continues to make a difference in Ukraine by building coalitions, shining light on disinformation, and sharing actionable intelligence with the Ukrainians. We cannot waver in our commitment to Ukraine, the NATO alliance, and democracy. Russia's ongoing war in Ukraine highlights the importance of working with partners and allies on the front end to ensure resilience against unprovoked aggression. The training and collaboration between U.S. Special Forces and Ukraine SOF, for example, is paying dividends and will continue to support them. That is also why I created the Baltic Security Initiative to strengthen the defense capabilities of Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, 3 key NATO allies, in areas like air defense, C4ISR, and special operation forces. Even as the war in Ukraine rages on and tensions remain high across Europe, China is expanding its military reach in aggressive and asymmetric ways. Our subcommittee mark enhances the Department's progress towards institutionalizing regular warfare by codifying Section 1202 of the FY 2018 NDAA and requires a briefing on the Department's plans to expand irregular warfare operations to vetted allies and partners in the Indo-Pacific region. Our mark enables sensitive military operations across the spectrum of warfare and strengthens oversight of clandestine military activities that support operational preparation of the environment. While we rebalance and focus capabilities, U.S. Special Operations Command continues to carry out its priority missions of countering violent extremists. The mark ensures SOCOM investment and divestments will provide the capability to counter strategic competition in the gray zone while enabling access to CVEO mission. Finally, this mark continues on one of my priorities of ensuring greater congressional oversight of information operations across the ISO portfolio. I have a provision to strengthen the oversight framework for web-based military information support operations, MISU. That will be included in the Chairman's full committee mark package. With that, I turn to my friend and Ranking Member Trent Kelly for any comments.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for your opening remarks and your leadership in organizing this morning's subcommittee markup. I would like to commend our members for their efforts and support in putting together this subcommittee markup package in a bipartisan fashion. There are many things to be proud of in this subcommittee markup package. In particular, the codification of U.S. Special Operations Command SOCOM 1202 authority is significant. This authority allows SOCOM to conduct irregular warfare operations, something we've seen as critical to the current fight in Ukraine and global power struggles across the globe. The expansion of this authority is paramount to our ability to compete and win, and we shift towards great power competition. In this vein, the markup package directs the Assistant Secretary of Defense for Special Operations and Low-Intensity Conflict, the ASD SOLIC, and the Commander of SOCOM to provide a report on how SOCOM's unique authorities of 127 ECHO and 1202 are tied into the operational plans of geographic combatant commands. If we are going to compete globally against our adversaries, it's vital we leverage all operational authorities, ensure we are appropriately aligned with our strategic and operational plans. I would also like to acknowledge additional provisions within this package that support the transition of Special Forces soldiers from active duty to the National Guard, encourage increased partnership between SOCOM and Polish Special Forces, and support the continued use of commercial data while calling upon the Department of Defense to increase the availability of this data for units at all levels. Unfortunately, I remain concerned about our force posture and counterterrorism capabilities in Afghanistan. Last year's chaotic and failed withdrawal from the country has handicapped our ability to maintain situational awareness of a degrading security and humanitarian environment. Lastly, I want to thank the efforts of our great support staff. Today's markup would not be possible without the help from our professional staff members, Patrick Nevins, Shannon Green, and Craig Green, our subcommittee clerk, Will Braden, and my personal office staff, Rodney Hall and Lauren Emmy. Thank you to our members and staff for our diligent work thus far, and I look forward to continuing the work together to ensure ISO equities are represented during the full committee markup and throughout the NDA process. With that, Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Thank you, Ranking Member Kelly. We will now proceed to mark up H.R. 7900, the National Defense Authorization Act for fiscal year 2023. Copies of our subcommittee mark and directive report language were made available and distributed to member offices on Monday, June 6. Is there any discussion or questions on the subcommittee mark? If there is no further discussion, the chair lays before members the text of the subcommittee mark for consideration. Are there any amendments to the subcommittee mark? If no member says an amendment, I will turn to tab 5. Thank you, guys are so good. The question now occurs on the adoption of the mark. So many as are in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. The ayes have it, and the mark is adopted. Motion to report the mark favorably. Oh, sorry. 1 second. Thank you. The chair now recognizes the gentleman from Washington State, Mr. Larson, for the purpose of a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move the subcommittee report the mark favorably to the full committee.
The question is now on the motion of the gentleman from Washington State, Mr. Larson. So many as are in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. A quorum being present, the ayes have it, and the motion is adopted. Without objection, a motion to reconsider is laid upon the table. I ask unanimous consent that staff be authorized to make necessary conforming, technical, and clerical changes and to remove from the mark provisions that would cause the mark to refer to other committees or would result in additional direct spending. Without objection, so ordered. There being no further legislative business before the subcommittee, this meeting is adjourned.